So what motivated me to start Project Buzz? When you're young, everyone always asks you what you want to be when you grow up, right? And over the course of my life, I have had many different answers. When I was about 5 or so, I told everybody that I wanted to be a fashion designer because I had a passion for fashion and style and all of that. But I soon realized that I cannot sketch, I cannot draw, and I couldn't sew either. So I decided to change my answer. And later I said that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I started exploring the world of business and getting really excited about it. But then the more that I delved into that world, I soon realized that I had zero passion for the corporate world. And so I had to explore again, what did I want to do with my life? What did I want to be when I grow up? And so when I was about 11 or 12 or so, I came up with the answer that I eventually started repeating again and again until now I am 17. I started telling people that I wanted to have a platform. It didn't matter what that platform was, I just wanted to have one because I wanted to feel heard when I wanted to say something. As an 11-year-old kid, I felt that I had so many important things to say, so many important messages that I wanted to share. And I wanted it to be so that when I spoke, there were people who wanted to listen to me. And so I didn't know how I was going to get there, but I knew that I had to. And the type of influence that I wanted to have on people isn't the type of influence that pushes you to buy a certain product or pushes you to visit a certain place. No, I wanted to have the influence that would change mindsets, that would make people want to become better versions of themselves, that would make people love themselves more, that would make people love the world more. So that, I guess, in a way, is sort of the inspiration behind Project Buzz and what really pushes me to grow Project Buzz. To me, Project Buzz is like the stepping stone for me to achieve that goal, to achieve that objective. I really wanted to have this space where everyone kind of empowers each other and we're all inspiring each other as well to become a better community that glows from the inside, a community that can really change the world. And I am a firm believer that the change of the world really relies on the hands of the youth. I believe so much in the power of the youth. I think that it all comes down to us. And I want Project Buzz to be a platform that inspires and empowers other youths, other people like you and me, to believe in that power as well, to believe in the potential that we have as young people of the world. Because ultimately, our future is in our hands. True, right now, the world systems relies on grown-ups and adults and people that are just much older than us. But at the end of the day, we are going to be the ones who are inheriting the world. We are the ones who this world belongs to. And so it is our responsibility to make the changes that we want to make in order to make this world a better place. And so that's what pushes me to grow Project Buzz. That's what pushes me to keep going no matter what obstacle we face. Because this cause, the power of the youth, is something that is so big and so important that it is worth fighting for. So overall, that's what pushes me to keep going and to keep building Project Buzz above and beyond. So am I afraid? Am I afraid of the obstacles in front of me? Well, of course. I'm human. We all are, and that's 100% a normal emotion for all of us to be feeling. Back in 2019, when I started Project Buzz, I was racked with nerves. I was so scared. I was so anxious. I was so nervous because back then, in early 2019, youth organizations wasn't a big thing yet. Now we see them more frequently, but back then it was a pretty rare occurrence. And so being, I'd say, one of the pioneers in that industry, I was like, oh my gosh, what if this doesn't work? What if nobody likes it? What if it just flops completely? Or what if people judge me for this? What if the people at school or any of the people that I know think that this is silly, think that I'm silly for doing this? But the more that I thought of it, the more that I realized, who cares? If people want to judge what I am doing, or if they want to talk about what I'm doing in a negative way, then I shouldn't care. Because at the end of the day, I know in my heart that I am doing something good. I know that I am doing something good for the world. I have faith in my project, and I know that this is going to have a positive impact towards the community. And when you think about it that way, then you realize that what you're fighting for is so much bigger than any of the petty things anyone could ever say. And this applies to any situation, not just running a youth organization, but anything that you want to do. Let's say you want to dress the way that you want to. Your creative expression is so much bigger and so much more important than what someone who doesn't like you has to say. You know, when you think about the perspective of other people looking at what you're doing, you realize that it isn't really any of their business, you know? So you can just pay attention to what you want to do and your journey and what you're trying to achieve. So that's how I got over my fear of judgment. And in terms of my fear of failure, I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna go for it. Just take that first leap. Because I'm never gonna know until I try, right? And I figured that if I put my all into this, if I tried my very best, then either I'm going to succeed or I'm going to learn. I am never going to fail. I am only going to learn lessons and get better, or I'd already succeed the first go, which is very rare. But either way, there was no downside. Because whether it works out or whether it doesn't, you're still moving forward, you're still progressing, you're still adding experience into your life, you're still adding skills, adding knowledge, and all of this stuff. You're still growing as a person. So no matter what happens, you're still gonna be better because of it. And so that kind of pushed me to just, you know what, let's just do it. Let's just get over the fear of all the obstacles that could happen in the future and just go for it. You know, you really need to adopt that attitude, because if not, then how are we ever going to get things moving? We need to get that momentum, you know? And so I am still very afraid of the obstacles that are before me. You know, I have university coming up soon. I'm still trying to grow Project Buzz, and I want to bring it offline and all of these different things. And so many things could go wrong, but you know what? I'm just going to cross the bridge when I get there. I'll worry about these obstacles when they face me, because I have faith in what I'm doing. I have faith in myself. I have faith in my team. And at the end of the day, things are always going to work out the way that they're supposed to. So, you know, sit back, relax, and enjoy the journey. So what is the biggest factor that helped me get to where I am now? 100% I would say that it's my parents, especially the values that they have instilled inside me for years, throughout my entire time growing up. I wouldn't be where I am without those principles and those values. Because the thing is, I am a really stubborn person, right? Like when I believe something, it's so hard for me to stop believing in it. And because I have such strong opinions all the time, my opinion and my parents' opinion actually often clash. But I think that it's actually brought me to where I am today, because their ideas and their wisdom and their knowledge always balances out my ideas. And I think that that's been really important for me. I think that with any relationship between a child and a parent, one can never overpower the other. You know, the parents' ideas cannot overpower the child's ideas, and the child's ideas cannot overpower the parents' ideas. But you need to find that perfect balance. And I think that in my household, I've reached a point where we have created that balance. And I am really trying to learn how to use that in my everyday life, especially in all the work that I do, in my organizational work and my public speaking and my school and all of this stuff. A lot of the times I have a certain idea of how things are supposed to be, but maybe I have a clouded mind, or maybe I'm not too sure. But then I remember a certain value or a lesson that my parents have taught me ages ago, and suddenly things become clearer, because then I can consider the opposite perspective, or I can consider all of these other factors that maybe I didn't see before. So I think that my parents and the things that they've taught me have definitely opened my eyes a lot more to all of the things in the world, and that's definitely the biggest factor in getting me to where I am today. I honestly wouldn't be here without all of the teachings and all of the lessons. And I think that's a good reminder, I guess. I know that students are going to be seeing this, so just remember that your parents can be right sometimes. They know quite a lot. And even if you don't 100% agree with them, like I often don't, sometimes it's good to think about the things that they say whenever you're trying to do something, because it could either push you further and give you more reassurance in what you're doing, or maybe you could think, maybe there is a better way to do this, or maybe we could find a compromise between the two extremes of what I think and what my parents think. And that compromise most usually is going to be the best possible solution for you. So definitely I think that my parents have been the biggest help and the biggest factor to help me get where I am now. All right, do I have any regrets with the way that I've run my organization? I will say I have one. One of my regrets is not facilitating offline events sooner. Because of the pandemic, we haven't been able to do any offline events. And to be honest, I had so many ideas. I wanted to do fundraisers, I wanted to do workshops, I wanted to do so many things that would have been so amazing for Project Buzz to be able to do offline. But unfortunately, I feel like I waited a little bit too long, and then the pandemic hit, and we've been here for over a year. So it's gonna take a while. I still have hope in these offline events and these ideas that I want to bring to life, but it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a couple months more at least, fingers crossed. But I am really excited about all of that, and I am taking a gap year, so I'm hoping to dedicate a lot of my time to that. So at the end of the day, it isn't a big major regret, because I think that we're going to be able to do all of those things anyway. But other than that, I would say no. I don't have any regrets with the way that I've run my organization, or with anything, to be honest, because I have this mindset where there is nothing to regret, because everything that's ever happened, I think, has happened for a right reason. You know, things either turned out the way they were exactly supposed to turn out, or something wrong happened and I learned what I was supposed to learn in order to grow even more, in order to become a better person, in order to become a better leader, in order to become a better organization. All of these things happen for a reason, and I feel like if I were to regret something in the past, or if I were to change one of the things that went wrong in the past, then I wouldn't have the knowledge and the wisdom and the experience that I do have now. And I think those are really important, and I think that those make me who I am and make my organization who it is as well. So at the end of the day, I have no regrets with anything. For sure, we have made a lot of mistakes in the past as a person and as an organization. But at the end of the day, things always turn out the way that they're supposed to turn out. And if it turns out not so great, then There must have been something that you needed from that scenario. There must have been something you needed to learn, or there must have been something you needed to know. Whatever that is, it happened for a reason. And so there is quite literally nothing to regret, because at the end of the day, things will always come full circle, and things will always reveal itself in terms of why they happened. So that's my bottom line. No regrets. Live with no regrets. Okay, last question. Let's go. Do I have any advice for people who are struggling to take that leap of faith, that big jump in their life, that step that could change everything? I will say the simplest 3 words ever that you have 100% heard before, but I'm not sure if you've internalized yet. Are you ready? Just do it. I know, it's simple, it's overused, but just do it. Because the thing is, when it comes to that step, there are no set rules, there is no formula, there is no exact way for you to do something. There is not like, oh, you already need to know this, you already need to feel like this. Absolutely not. You just plunge straight into it and you will learn along the way. There's this quote that I love, but I can't remember who originally said it, but it goes, courage is not the absence of fear, but instead it is being afraid and doing it anyway. These feelings of nervousness, of anxiety, of fear, they're not necessarily going to leave you. They may accompany you throughout the journey, and that's completely okay. It's okay to be scared, it's okay to be nervous, it's okay to be anxious. If anything, that shows that you really care about this. But if that thing that you're chasing really, really matters to you, then you will take all of these negative feelings, strap up, and jump anyway. Because that is going to be a test of how much it actually means to you, how much it matters to you. And I also like to think about how, at the end of the day, everything that you see now, everything that is so amazing, or oh my God, I could never live without this, all of those things, they were once nothing. It took at least one person with a vision and with the initiative to actually do something about it to make that nothing into something. So if you have a vision of something that you want to make, but you're like, oh, there's nothing there, so how am I going to do this? Well, the same thing applied to everything else that you see now. It was all nothing too. So you need to gather up the courage to just jump, to just do it, to just give it your all. Because you're never going to know if you don't try. Whatever it is, if it doesn't have to be creating an organization, it doesn't have to be inventing a new life-changing product. It could be as simple as the next semester of your school year. Or it could be pursuing a relationship. Or it could be moving to a foreign country. Or anything that it is. You just need to dive straight into it. All of the best things that you see now took that one person to take that leap, to take that jump. So why can't you be one of those people too? You could. Because if you're not going to do it, if you're not going to take that leap of faith, that just do it attitude, then who will? You have the power in you, and I hope that every single person, every single young person, every single member of the youth in our world will realize that, will realize their power and their potential, and will use it. Because, mark my words, we are going to make the world a better place. And I cannot wait to see it.